was watching again. Nitty Natty is, or was, I think she probably at this point has finished all of her squares. And I had another case of FOMO. My name is Michelle and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, and this is episode number 74. Although while you're watching this, when it drops, it is going to be January 1st. So allow me to wish you a very happy new year and a happy 2026. Wow, it has been 3 weeks, I think, since the last time I recorded an episode. I'm just starting. There's just no way that I can capture everything in the last 3 weeks. So we're gonna just kind of pick up. I have a couple of finished objects. I have a couple of new projects. I have an old project I've been working on and all the things, right? So it's a partly sunny day. The sun, I actually just had to lower one of my blinds because the sun was streaming in and the lighting was wacky. But it is cold, and we had an ice storm, well, freezing rain and sleet yesterday, so my car is covered. I leave in about an hour and a half to go to the gym, so I'm gonna have to make sure I start my car, warm it up, and get it all scraped and cleaned off and all the things. But yeah, that's how things are looking. I am in a sweatshirt. I'm dressed for the gym actually, so nothing exciting in the knitwear department. So let's go straight ahead to what is on my blocking board. All right, on my blocking, well, not actually on my blocking board because neither of these objects were blocked. But I do have my 2 Advent projects that I completed in the month of December, and so I thought it'd be fun to share those. I am gonna start with my gnome. This is my Gnandad. This was the Mystery Gnome by Schira of Imagination Landscape. And it is knit from all kinds of different scraps that I had in my scrap bucket. So super fun. This is the 3rd year that I have done her Mystery Gnome at Christmas, but I'm very proud of myself because this is the first year I actually stayed on top of it, and I started 3 days late. I wasn't gonna do it because I've had historically a hard time staying on track with it. So I had a little bit of FOMO going on and decided that I wanted to cast it on, so it was kind of a late decision. But he is super cute. He's been sitting on one of my bookshelves. Very, very fun. So that is project number 1. Not a whole lot to say other than that he's done. Project number 2 is my Advent socks. These right here, they're a little worse for wear because I did wear them. I completed them on December 24th on Christmas Eve, and I wore them Christmas Day. So let me see. These are by Woolens and Nosh. This is her Advent skein. I should have kept out the little ball so you could have seen it, but it is a self-striping Corriedale nylon, 75/25 Corriedale nylon. Came with a 20-gram mini, which I did cuffs, heels, and toes. Can you see? Come on, focus. There we go. That the color is a little different here in the tippy toe. Here, if I go this way, you can probably see it better. I ran out of the contrast color. I hope that's picking up. So I went fishing and I'm like, you know what? It's just a toe. Nobody is gonna know except for me. So I did, and it really is like, I think I had 4 rounds to go. So yeah, didn't quite have enough. I probably should have made my cuffs just a little bit shorter. I usually do 20 round cuffs, and I think I did do 20 round cuffs. So maybe next year, note to self, I'll do 16 rounds and that should be plenty to make sure that I have enough for my cuffs, for my toes rather. So anyway, yeah, this is a super fun, again, this is also the 3rd year that I have done these socks from Woolens and Nosh, and I love this project. She does a fantastic job with some brilliant colors. She puts it in a little bag, 250-gram or 52-gram cakes. They're all caked up, all ready to go with the contrast color hanging out. You pull it out until you get to your first color. Well, I did. I suppose you could start with the brown, but I pulled it out till I got to the first color. You knit a stripe and then you stop. And then the second day, you will knit, because the contrast color comes up, you knit the contrast color, which is usually about 1.5 rounds for me, and then you knit another stripe, and then you stop. So each day you're knitting, it's about 5 rounds of knitting per sock, and it's so totally doable for me. It's the one thing that I know I can do during the holidays. I think I had one day that I didn't quite, I either only got one sock done or I didn't get either sock done. I don't recall, but it's just one of those that I can fit in. Takes me about 10 minutes per sock, so 20 minutes total. I can find 20 minutes in the day to just knit, which during December and where it's really busy is a blessing. So super fun, love this project. I have both, like, I think I have 52 grams left in the cakes. So if I added a little mini, I could do a whole nother pair. Well, it's a whole nother set of striping. So I could actually do an entire second pair of socks. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, to be honest. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't need 2 pairs like this. Maybe I'll knit them up and give them to my daughter. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, it's chilling until it decides what it wants to be. But those are my 2 finished Advent projects. In my project bag, I'm excited about the projects for today. I have 2 brand new cast-ons. I think I'm going to make you wait though. So let's pull out the other project that I worked on, which is my Westknits Shawl. And look, I have finished glue 2. It is not attached to any yarn currently. I finished that glue last night. I will admit it did not get as much love as perhaps I would have liked to have given it, but that whole segment is done. I am going to be working, it's like some triangles, and I think it's on the left side. So let me look at it properly. I want to make sure I don't lose my needles either, because these all sit on a stitch holder. So yeah, so I'm going to be picking up stitches along this edge, and then I do triangles. It's parallelograms or triangles or whatever, and it creates like a triangle end. So that's the next phase of this project. Maybe later today I can get started on that, but I am picking away at it. It definitely is taking second fiddle to my other projects. So the fact that I finished the clue is just, you know, a bonus. To be honest, I knew I was recording and I wanted to be able to say that I finished the clue, so I pushed really hard yesterday to get that clue done, because I think I only picked it up this weekend, probably since the last time I podcasted. So most of the season, because my knitting chair is right over there, it's just, I don't know, it's just off camera anyway. I always have all my project bags around me, but then I kind of clean the space up for Christmas, and this project bag, which is currently living in my float tote, I took right out of here and sent it off to live in the office, right out of the way. So anyway, that is project number 1. Project number 2 is a brand new cast on. It is a shawl, and let's see, I think I will show you the shawl and then we'll talk about the yarn. So I am making the Deck the Halls Shawl. Let me get my notes up here, by Tabetha Hedrick. Put that down. There we go. This is the correct side. So super fun. And I have my little candy cane stitch marker there. So this yarn that I am using is by Emma's Yarn. It is one of her theme packs, that's what she calls them. So I have, this is my second color. I finished the first color already, that bright green, and then the rest of the colors are, I don't want them to fall off. I've got them strung up on some yarn. There we go. So there is the other 8 colors. There's 10 colors total. This is her perfect, practically perfect smalls, and it is in the fa la 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 colorway or theme pack. So I saw this, I told the full story and I'm not going to retell it. If you want to see it, you can see it in Vlogmas day or episode. Let's see, I did 7 episodes total. It's either episode 5 or 6, I think, is the episode in which I talked about this yarn and why it is special to me. But I saw this yarn on Nitty Natty in brief. Nitty Natty, I was rewatching one of her Vlogmases from a couple of years ago, and she had visited Four Pearls, which is the home of Emma's yarn, and spotlighted that. And I really liked it, and I went on and I ordered it. That's the short version, and it took a few weeks to get here, but it came in about in the middle of December. Actually, I think it might have arrived just as, no, I don't think. I think I had already podcasted, but at any rate. And then I went looking for, I decided to make a Christmas shawl, and I went looking for a pattern, and I found the Deck the Halls pattern, and I thought it was serendipity because Deck the Halls, fa la la la, is part of the Deck the Halls song and all the things. So I got it started pretty much right away, and I got a lot of love, and then I started my third project, which is the one I've been totally obsessed with, but it's fun, and I will keep picking away at it. But definitely, I would probably wear it this winter because it's got some, you know, the blues. It's kind of got blue undertones, like wintry undertones, right? So I could wear it when it's done. But it's definitely, the intention is for it to be a Christmas shawl. So, all right, project 3. Yeehaw! I'm very excited about this one. This is definitely the one that has gotten the bulk of my attention. I have it in a little basket here because there's a lot of moving parts in this one. So I am making the Imagination Quilt by Meema Makes. It is a crochet pattern, and it was, and I think it's brand new, just released. It is actually intended or designed to be an Advent project. She did it in collaboration with, I don't remember the dyer, but it is kind of based on Anne of Green Gables. And so you make little quilt squares. There's one of them. And then you put these together into 4x4, so 16 little squares will make a quilt pattern. And each of the quilt patterns is named after a character in Anne of Green Gables. And then once you have all, there are 16 squares total. Once you have all the bigger squares done, you assemble them, you do a border, all the things. So I was watching, again, Nitty Natty is, or was, I think she probably at this point has finished all of her squares. And I had another case of FOMO. So this is also Emma's yarn. It is her Smallidays kit. And I get a sneeze coming. There we go. So yes, Emma's yarns, and this was a late addition to my Advent opening. I think I got it right before Thanksgiving, and as I was opening, I am like, yeah, I really like these colors. So let me show you what I have left, because I have wound up, I think, 9 of them, 8 or 9 of them now. But this is, look at this fun little bundle here. If I go this way with it, I'm not going to unwind it. So what I've done, if you can see here, I have one of my interchangeable cords, and I've got them all strung on the cord. As I opened them, I added them, and then I just took the cord and the extra cord, because it's like a 60-inch cord, and I wrapped it around a couple of times and tucked the end in. So it's actually holding it as a nice little bundle here. So I'm just going to tuck this right back into my basket. But each day you crochet up, and it tells you how many squares to make, whether they are full squares or half squares with one color. And you're making, so these are the blocks. I actually have these all ready to go, and I could assemble this. Let me show you the fun little stack of them. So these are all ready for block number 1. And I have 4 that are 2 different colors here. I think it's 4 that are one of the colors and a white, and I do not recall what day number these colors are. I have 2 white ones and 4 more that are green and white. So I got for my white, I needed 4 skeins, and this is Knit Picks Stroll in the Bear colorway. So I ordered 4 skeins of that, and that is what I am using as my background color. I will use it as my joining color and my border color. So, and then I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna keep track of all of these things? Because I had the advantage, I didn't start this until I think it was December 22nd. I had the advantage of watching Knitty Natty's vlogs most of this, beginning part of December, and kind of watching how she was handling things and some of the challenges that she was running into. And because you do have a list of every day, now that Advent season is over, I think you could do it by block if you wanted to, but I'm choosing to follow it as an Advent day by day because it's just kind of fun that way. And it makes it so that I'm winding up the yarns a little at a time. And it's just smaller bite-sized pieces, I guess. It's between 8 and 12 squares usually a day, or per day. It's not that I actually have been doing that many per day. I think I have finished 6 days worth of squares. I am all over the place on this project. I'm so sorry. And it has been it's been like 8 days or 9 days, I think, since I started it. And of course, Christmas was in there. So I'm really pleased with the progress that I'm doing. And this has definitely been the project that has captured the bulk of my attention and my free time. So let me slow down. So if I'm doing it day by day, that day 1 told me to make 4 squares using the day 1 color, and those 4 squares go in block number 7. And then make 2 squares out of the plain white, and those go in block number 5. And 4 more squares that are half square triangles, which is what these are, the half square, and out of block color day 1 and the white, and then those go in square 1, or block 1. So you kind of pull as you go along. Like when I got to day 4, I think I was using color 1 and color 4. So I had to pull those out, and I didn't want to lose track of what color was what day, or right? I hope you're following me. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this? The Advent, if you got the whole kit in collaboration with the dyer, it came with these little wooden tags with numbers on them, days 1 to 24, so you can hang that off of your cakes, but I don't have those. And then I was gonna pull out a bunch of Ziplocs, but 24 Ziplocs is a lot of Ziplocs. I hate using plastic if I can at all avoid it. And then I had a brainstorm, and I remembered that my Advent, my very first Advent that I got 2 Christmases ago, came in little bags with the number embroidered or screen printed onto that. So I went and fished them out. I had held on to them in case I wanted them for something, and that is what I've been using. So I have all of the extra bags in a little pouch, and as I wind up my minis, I just pull out the next pouch and drop it in there. And then to organize my squares, I pulled out, I have all of these pouches, which is what my yarn comes in from Yarnables, and I just put a little hang tag on with here's my number 1. So with my block number on it. So as I complete the little squares, I can fish out the pouch with the block number on it and drop them in it, and which is what I'm going to do with these right now so I don't lose them. So that is working out really, really nicely. This has just really been a fun project, I have to say. It's been interesting, nice little bite size. I have all of the pieces for block number 1, but I've been enjoying making the little squares, so I haven't taken the time to sew it up. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of the colors and then make the blocks, or if I at some point will decide to make blocks in between. I don't know. But the one little fiddly part, I guess, is not terrible, but there are a fair number of ends. So when you make a square on the regular, there are 4 ends, your beginning and your end, but then there's lots of these little half squares, and so there are 4 ends, 2 for each color. And I, for the most part, am trying to complete the square, weave in the ends, complete the square, weave in the ends. Sometimes, depending on what's going on, we had one night, we spent like 6 hours playing a game with my kids, and it was perfect because that particular day I had 12 little half squares to make. So I just sat there like over the course of the 6 hours and I just made squares. And I actually got them all done, and then I started weaving in the ends. I didn't quite get all the ends woven in before we were done. And I think like it doesn't take me 6 hours to make 12 squares. However, because we were playing a game and I was stopping in between, right? So it just kind of kept me occupied when it wasn't my turn. So that worked out really, really nicely. So yeah, that's this project. Super, super fun. And I cannot wait to see how this comes together. On my yarn shelf, so I've already shown you the first advent that I did, so I thought I would just take a quick second and show off the second advent. This was the one that I ordered way back in the summer by Fangirl Fibers, and it was a Little Mermaid themed advent. And she had 2 different options this year. You could get tonals or you could get variegated. I went with the variegated option. And again, look at these beautiful, beautiful colors. I am thinking, I don't remember the name of it and I don't have it in my notes. There is a shawl, I don't remember the name of it, that I am thinking I will pop the picture in, whatever the name of it is, because I know I have it saved in my images and such. So I will pop the picture in there. So I'm thinking that I might make this shawl. Here is the full skein, and it is Part of Your World is the name of it. But it's got these really beautiful blues and greens. And the shawl that I want to do does require a full skein that you put in between. And I think this would work. I need to look at it a little bit more closely. I mean, there's not a huge contrast. I'm not going to be able to hold this up effectively to show you that without losing the colors, but there's not a huge contrast with some of these blues. Here we go, if I stick it like this. So that's my one concern, because the shawl does, you kind of, as you've seen, kind of needs that contrast. So I don't know. I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do, but the colors are gorgeous. It was a super fun one to open up, and we will see what it will become. But that is currently the only new acquisition on my yarn shelf. I do have my Wool and Woven Fibers box, should be coming soon, my Yarnables box. Hopefully by next week when I record, I have them and I can show those off to you. Finally, in this week's day-to-day, there's no way that I could totally capture the last 3 weeks. I don't even think I could remember the last 3 weeks. So we'll just pick some highlights, of course, focusing on the last week or so with the holidays and such. I will say I had a really, actually decent last week of school. We had our Secret Santa party, and I got some really cool and fun gifts from my Secret Santa. So that was fun. Went out to dinner with some of the admin team. We all went and got some dinner together on Thursday, so that was good. And then, of course, the big thing was the show that I was preparing for. That was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2019, 2021, right? Are those the dates? And all 3 shows went really phenomenally well. It got better and better. I think the first show was fine. There weren't any major hiccups, but I think the show on Saturday and then Sunday afternoon was even better still. So that was really great, and it was a lot of fun, and I do enjoy it. But boy, it is a sense of relief when we pulling out from the venue on Sunday afternoon at 7, because the whole week before was Tech Week. And so we were there every day except for Wednesday night, and it was exhausting, I'll be real. And so Monday was the first day of my Christmas break from school, and my husband still had to work. He went off to work. My son was home from college, he's been home, and my other son who works in school was off. But Monday I took the day for myself, and it was fabulous. I sat in my chair pretty much the whole day. I knit, I crocheted, I started my blanket project. I watched Vlogmases and Christmas movies. Actually, that was the day that I watched a whole ton of Christmas movies, a lot of the animated versions of shows mostly, but I had gone the day before and I made myself a list and I figured out what streaming services I could find them on. So that was a lot of fun. And then about 5 o'clock that day, my daughter and her husband and their dog arrived from New York City, and they were with us for the following week. So that was it was a wonderful way to kick off my break. Tuesday we did, I had my workout on Tuesday, and my daughter and son-in-law came with me, and we do that trainer. I have 2 trainers that I work with, and the trainer on Tuesdays likes to do something he calls the 12 days of Christmas. And so there are a total of 12 different exercises, but if you think hard, you can probably figure this one out. We started with 1 push-up, and then we did 2 box jumps, I think it was. And so we did 2 box jumps and a push-up. And then we did 3 kettlebell swings, 2 box jumps, 1 push-up, right? So on and so forth. So that by the time you got to 12, you were doing 12, 11, 10, 9, all the way down, all of the exercises. It was fun. It was very aerobic. They weren't hard. It was not strength-based. It was the cardio, which got me more than anything. But it was a lot of fun, and my daughter and son-in-law had a great time doing it with me. It was fun to do that together. Tuesday night, we had our Christmas with my family, my mom and my brothers, and that was delightful. We had a really wonderful time together doing that. And then while we were there, it was starting to snow, and we had I think they called it a Grinch storm. I think that's what they were calling it. It was a big storm. We woke up on Wednesday, and it was still snowing, and it continued to snow until, I want to say it didn't stop until like 1 o'clock. Like, it went all morning long, and when all was said and done, we had about 16 inches of snow. We haven't had that much snow. I've got some pictures I think I'm popping in here. We haven't had that much snow in a while. Like, when I was a kid, we used to get storms like that all the time. 8, 10, 12, 14 inches of snow regularly. If I'm remembering correctly, maybe I'm imagining things, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it was, or even when my kids were younger. But in the last 8 to 10 years, the weather trend has been for smaller storms, 2 to 4 inches, a little more icy, a little more slushy. So anyway, it was amazing, and it was so beautiful. So we had a beautiful, beautiful white Christmas, and it was cold enough that it stayed. So like, all of my husband's side of the family came to us on Christmas Day, but they all reported like what beautiful drives it was, because the trees were still holding on to that snow from the day before. So my poor sweet husband, however, spent I would say a solid 2 hours cleaning snow, because not only did he have to clear the driveway, he knew we had all the cars coming. So like, basically the whole front yard had to be snow blowed so we could put cars in the front yard. Yeah, it was a lot of snow cleanup. Christmas Eve, we went to my cousins and on my dad's side of the family, and we celebrated with them, and my aunt and uncle, and a couple of my cousins were there, my brothers. So that was a lot of fun. And then Christmas morning, we have a Christmas morning tradition of cinnamon rolls. So I got up early so I could make cinnamon rolls for my family. And then we enjoyed our cinnamon rolls, we opened our gifts, we had, I want to say, an hour and a half until my husband's family came, and it was perfect. It was just great, and they were there. We had lunch together and did our little gift swap, and had a wonderful afternoon. And then we just relaxed that evening. So it was wonderful. And then we had a really just low-key weekend. My daughter and her husband left on Sunday to head back to New York City. They had the car for a week, and which was actually, they wanted to get ahead of traffic that was driving into the city, and they actually made really, really good time. But that was probably good, because then yesterday we had the sleet, freezing rain, and I would have been very nervous thinking about them driving yesterday. So that is kind of the recap of the last few weeks. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. I have links below down in the show notes for all the things that I have talked about. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me comments. I love reading your comments. And you can find me on Instagram and in Ravelry as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You could also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. With that, I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy New Year and happy knitting.